Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at that song inspired by Air, especially the tracks featured on Moon Safari. You can follow along in Ableton or any other sort of DAW that you're using, as all the processing that we're doing is pretty straightforward. So let's take a look at the project. So here are the drums. Starting off with the straightforward samples. Pretty straightforward, as you can hear. This one just there for a bit of low thud. Let's move this guy up here. And another. A bit thumpier. Little rim going on here. And then a hat. Quite live sounding, and then just a low open hat there, and layered up those with this sample here, which just sounds a bit more live and like it's actually been played on a drum kit. No shaker loop. I think loops are always better for shakers and hi-hats and stuff, unless you want to record them yourself. Because otherwise they sound a bit static, and you can either spend a lot of time programming shakers using different samples to make them sound live, or you can just try and find a loop that's actually being recorded with somebody playing it, as it were. And I think they always sound better. So then here we've just got the bongos. And a bit of vinyl and room tone, just to make it sound like it was recorded and not just produced in a bedroom or laptop. And I think the mixing was done in the same vein for pretty much every sound here. Just a tiny bit of EQ, subtractive EQ to take away the frequencies I didn't want. Not a lot of low ends. The rim was pretty low down in the mix. Again, just trying to create more of a natural sound. And then some of them also had a bit of reverb, just to put it in a room, a family room, to be precise. So not much mixing going on there. Just wanted them sounding quite dry. And yeah, sit down in the mix and make way for the bass and the other parts. So let's take a look at the bass. So we've got two sounds going on here. We've got the actual bass, and for that I used a preset from Bass Guitar by Spitfire Audio. This is part of their Labs package, which is free. Leave a link for that, and it's just the classic bass DI. Sounds pretty nice, kind of warm, but it was lacking that high-end click that you get from the plectrum. So what I just did is sampled just that part. And then anytime there was a note, that sample just plays over the top. And you could also mess around with the pitch. So you could bring it down a couple of notes or higher until it sounds good to you. And that way that the high end sort of pops through in the mix a bit, and you get that nicer kind of plucky sound. And that's it for the bass. I think I just kind of mix them a bit differently just with the EQs and stuff. So obviously that is to just cut out all the bass that I didn't want coming through and overlapping on the actual bass. And that's it. So onto the keys. We've got this road sound here playing the chords. You can see they're slightly flammed notes, so they're not just playing all at the same time. And I think I was using the Labs VST for that again. Electric piano with chorus. Again, just a really nice library. That sounds good straight out of the box, so it didn't do much there. Just some tape emulation, big growth beat. So that was the tremolo slow. Pretty nice just having that preset there. A bit of EQ. And then this just panned the sound left and right. So without all the effects. Just adds a bit more movement. And then here we had the solo. And for that, you could either use the same one. I went for a different VST. This one is also free, and I thought it sounded a bit closer to the original track that I was trying to get that sound of, a bit more roadsy. And I think I added some distortion to that, a bit of chorus. That's from like the Juno chorus, is what it's emulated on. Again, tape emulation, some delay, reverb, all that sort of stuff. So taking off a lot of the high end with a low pass filter there, and some distortion. So let's just go through some of those. So starting with the chorus. Tape emulation. No speaker today. Delay. Reverb and panning the sound. Cool. And I think we've got a couple more. So again, this little piano bit here, again with the Labs. Again with the Labs. This is a real simple progression, just straight up, 4 to the floor, baby. And then after that had the music box. With, you guessed it, Labs, baby. So this is Hannah Peel's music box. These are all free, by the way. I'll leave links and all that stuff. You know the score. So that was just playing that little melody. And, I have one more over here. Again, just one of the electric pianos. So all together. That was kind of the only part of the song where I had quite a few different melodies and stuff going on there. So that's pretty much it for that. I'll just show you this quickly here as well. Just recorded a bit of acoustic guitar. And that's almost there, almost as like more of a rhythmical sort of element with a bit of high end. Yeah, not so much there for fractal body. It just kind of sits pretty low in the mix. That was a nice little touch, just adding a real instrument, which is something I don't often do. So yeah, I thought it sounded okay. So we'll start with the strings. In the intro and sort of towards the middle of the song, we got this high drone. That's just a single note. This is part of the program that comes with FL Studio. So if you go to the drop down, go to packs, instruments, orchestral, and they're all here. And that was just a string section. And then I've got the main one here, which plays more of the harmonies. So if you wanted to look at the MIDI here, we've got more or less the bass notes of the chord, and then just what makes up the fifth or the third or something. Kind of changes. But if you go 1, 2, 3 up from the bass note, just had those ones there. So again, nothing too full on, and more or less the same. Just had a slight variation here. And sorry, I also had one more layer here. This is playing like the higher harmonics. Again, just using the same VST. I actually quite like the quality of the strings patch that comes with FL Studio. I think it fits the bill for this kind of genre perfectly. You don't have to get something that sounds amazing. There's a lot of libraries out there that you can pay hundreds of dollars for, and they sound really good and realistic. But for this old like 90s era down tempo kind of stuff, a lot of them were using just the samples that came in these keyboards and didn't sound super realistic or whatever. So I think they kind of fit the bill for at least this process pretty well. And on top of that, also had this sound here. So that's a pretty classic ethereal kind of sounding pads, sort of ambiency, which was all over the place in a lot of 90s music and early trip hop and even a bit of dance as well, Moby sort of stuff. And again, using one of the VSTs from Spitfire. So this came in the synth pads pack, and it's number 2. And I don't know if I had many effects on that. Yeah, just a bit of tape emulation and distortion just to boost up the signal, because it could be a bit quiet and hard to hear. And again, just playing the same notes as the strings. Cool. So now we'll take a look at the lead. Cool. So for those of you who are familiar with Air's work, this is about as close as I could get to the kind of bass lead in All I Need, which is also playing, I think, the same kind of rhythm. But let's start at the beginning. With the 3x oscillator. The fundamentals are actually pretty basic sound. So we're just using one of these oscillators, and that's set to a sawtooth. Not touching the volume envelope. All we're using is the LFO on the filter. So taking the filter all the way down, and then we've set it, just set it here, so that's a sine wave. Automate the amount, automate the resonance. makes it sound kind of trippy. It's cool. And I think that's pretty much it. All I changed from there was just the LFO speed. So if we take a look at the synth, for this amount of time, it's one speed, then it goes up to another speed here, which we should be able to visualize on this knob here. It took a bit working out, but we got there. And then quite a few effects. So starting off with some distortion. And then some EQ. Some flange. Reverb. And this is panning the sound again left and right. And then a limiter to be used for compression. And that's it for the lead. So nothing too complicated, but quite cool sound. So we'll take a look at the effects now. So this is pretty simple, just white noise with a sine wave, sawtooth. So if we play a note, it will sound like this. With a bit of reverb and delay on it. And then I just put in one note and then put in a slide. So you select the slide here. Then it will slide down. Or slide up if the note is up there. And it sounds like this. And have the same thing going on in reverse. And then just automated low pass filter and high pass, so the highs and lows come in and out. And then finally this one here. And that was actually a very similar patch to the bass leads. So yeah, same thing going on there. This is the volume envelope. So the note did eventually dissipate and die out. And then that was set to a square wave. And then I think I just automated the amount here. So let's take a look at the knobs and see what's being changed. Loads of resonance as well, and that was low pass too. And I think I just found that out just by experimenting with automating these filters here, the amounts and stuff like that, until I ended up with something that sounded kind of cool and trippy. I don't think this is a slide note, it's just one was higher and one was lower. And that's it. Sweet, so that's it for today. Thanks for coming along. As always, I'll leave links in the description for all the VSTs that I used, all the free ones, as well as the project file, and yeah, all that kind of stuff. If there's anything that I missed out, just leave a comment and I'll try and get back to you when I can. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Right, bye.